Welcome back. This is your final review of all the steps you'll need to follow when starting and running your power pallet, with a few new tips for better operation. Make sure your hopper barrel is filled with feedstock. While any feedstock with less than 30% moisture will work, if you fill the bottom of your hopper with drier feedstock, something with less than 15% moisture, it can make for a quicker and easier startup.
Remember to never run the power pallet with an empty hopper, or the machine may automatically shut down to prevent damage to the gasifier. Make sure your gas filter is in good condition, with no more than 50 mm and no less than 25 mm empty in the top. You can tell if your filter is clogged and needs to be changed by checking the difference between the P-react and P-filt values. If the P-filt is 30 higher than P-react, the filter is clogged and needs to be changed. You will never get full power with a clogged filter. Check to make sure the seals and connections are all tight with no air leaks. Leaks are most common where the things that you open most often connect, like the hopper lid, cyclone ash can, ash collection vessel, and filter lid. But also make sure the reactor access door's hand wheel is turned down tight, and that all the reactor's gaskets, shaft seals, instrumentation ports, gas line connections, and sealing surfaces are nice and tight. Always do your leak down test before you start up by running the gas blower on 11 with the engine valve closed and the flare valve open to get your vacuum over 50. Then, shut the flare valve and time how fast the pressure drops. The slower the fall, the better sealed your machine is. If they drop instantly, you should look for a loose fitting. If they hold for 30 seconds or more, you are pretty well sealed. Check the red air filter and make sure it is clean. Check that the engine coolant and oil are filled to their proper levels. Your 12-volt DC battery needs to be fully charged. Often, not being able to pull that vacuum of 50 during your leak test means your battery is low. Check that when you turn on the power switch, the PCU display comes on. Make sure the O2 sensor number display on the round lambda dial reads 1.5 at startup. If it reads ER with a number, don't run your power pallet. Instead, stop and check the troubleshooting section in the handbook to see what error the number describes and fix it. Disconnect the gas line to the governor to check that the throttle is able to move fully and smoothly, and clean it with alcohol if necessary. Make sure the fuel auger runs and fills the reactor with feedstock. An alarm should sound if it's not working properly. Make sure nothing like wood chips or tools are near or might fall into the moving parts of the generator or engine, and make sure nothing is blocking or touching the hot exhaust and flare stacks or engine radiator. Check that your CO meter is working and nearby whenever you are running or working on your power pallet. Make sure to empty all of your vessels and containers before restarting, and keep your throttle working by cleaning right after you shut down. And always cool down and protect your power pallet from the rain when you finish running it.
Congratulations! After finishing this lesson, you should be able to successfully run a power pallet. All that's left is our final quiz, so you can feel confident in what you've learned. We'll check your work throughout the course and your quiz answers, and if they meet our standards, we will certify you as a trained power pallet operator. Once again, you can review as many of the lessons as you need and take the quizzes as often as you want to feel confident that you've mastered all of this material. I encourage you to come back when you have an access to a power pallet so you can review these lessons as a hands-on exercise with an actual machine. The power pallet is a pretty complicated machine that can take a lot of work to keep running for the long haul. There are all sorts of things that can go wrong with such a sophisticated piece of technology. So, to become an expert operator, you need to go beyond these beginning lessons to learn how to set up and calibrate a new machine, how to select and properly prepare feedstock, and how to do maintenance, troubleshooting, and repairs. If you wish to become this sort of expert journeyman operator, you can continue with the upcoming advanced courses to help you eventually master these higher levels of operations and management of your power pallet electrical generation system.